I was the most hated woman in America. Then I was on the no-fly list, then on the Interpol list. They wanted to charge me with the crime of...
So Kathy, what happened after that moment?
So I was getting kicked out of school in first grade because I was the class clown.
So at a young age, you know, I'm going to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
They used to say that right to my face. So it's not personal, Kathy. You had a good audition, but they're going to go pretty. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was no Ozempic then.
No.
You had to starve yourself. I thought if I stick with it and get better, it'll be my turn someday. And then it eventually was my turn.
Your uncle's dog. Dog.
I did definitely want to talk about relationships. So Quentin Tarantino, Conan O'Brien, and then Steve Wozniak.
I'm going to be honest.
You could see how there's many traumatic
The
events.
picture, cancer, divorce, addiction, not working. I have learned that the cliche, there's no such thing as bad publicity, is actually not true.
Your career, your friendships.
Everybody abandoned me. So I then became addicted to prescription pills. I took like 100 pills because I was like, who am I if I'm not being Kathy Griffin and making you guys laugh?
Would you go back in that moment and change anything?
The only thing I regret is...
Oh, hey there. Before we begin, I just want to say, if you enjoy this conversation, be sure to like it. Be sure to comment about what you appreciated, and be sure to subscribe. It helps us to bring more guests that you want to see. Thank you. Kathy Griffin, we need to talk.
We need to talk.
Like
Right now. I mean, today, at this moment.
exactly
In these outfits right here.
right here. First, can I say the outfit is 10 out of 10.
The jeans are the most expensive jeans I've ever had, and they're by Victoria Beckham, and they're $524.
Oh my goodness.
And I bought them in 4 different kinds of like levels of stonewash, and it comes with a note signed from Victoria Beckham, so I kind of feel like we're friends.
God, and you have 4 pairs of these.
4 pairs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can we go to 1960s Chicago?
Sure.
Okay. So this is where you're born.
Yep.
All right.
In 1960 in Oak Park Hospital, Oak Park, Illinois.
All right. Can you, because a lot of people will not understand what Chicago was like in the 1960s.
Oh, okay. So Chicago in the 1960s. Remember, I was 0 to 10. So I'll tell you what I remember. I remember, probably first memory is when JFK was assassinated and the world just stopped.
Yes.
And I think my mom was ironing. So I have, either I've made that up or I really remember it. The racial stuff was really intense because we had our convention there, and white people would call them riots and black people would call them a protest. I now think they were a protest. And we had something called the Chicago 7. So it was a very politically charged city. And luckily, my parents were very intellectual, especially my dad. My dad was like book smart. My mom was like real life smart. And you had to come to the dinner table knowing your shit.
Really?
Because we would go over what was in the papers, not one newspaper, but multiple papers for the city of Chicago. And there was always an alderman on the take or some scandal going, we were always pissed off at our mayor. Whoever the mayor was, we were pissed off.
Is that Richard Daley?
Honey, talk about
Yeah.
a machine. They literally he was so corrupt, they called it the Daily Machine.
Yes.
And so I remember being raised Irish Catholic. I'm now a fallen Catholic, but being raised Irish Catholic, we were sort of in the machine.
Yes.
And so,
Can we spend a second on the racism?
Yeah.
Right? Because so I've read lots of Martin Luther King's Jr.'s work,
Mhm.
and I will never forget he was talking about the west side of Chicago,
Yeah.
roughly 1966,
Mhm.
that it was the most hostile racism that he had ever seen.
Mhm.
And this is Martin Luther King Jr. saying this.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what the hostility was like. You're only, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8 at the time.
Yeah.
But
But I had an uncle that was a real racist cop. And so hearing him say the N-word at that age was very shocking. But it was also a culture where I would have gotten in trouble if I had corrected him. Of course, now I reflect on that and I think, oh, I was such a loudmouth kid. I should have said something then. But it was so bizarre because it did feel like there was a black Chicago and a white Chicago. And when I got to personally intersect, it was always a good experience. I never had any bad issue with people of different colors. I can't say like
Yes.
anything bad happened to me or there was a consensus of bad things or whatever would make people. But I certainly remember hearing the N word at the picnics and, you know, it kind of came out of people's mouths like it was nothing.
Right.
And then I remember, you're going to laugh at this, but it was actually considered woke back in the day to go from N-word to Negro. Then Negro, believe it or not, was respectful.
Interesting.
Then it went to Black. And of course, now I kind of go back and forth and I ask the person, like, do you prefer African American or Black or something else?
Right.
What do you prefer?
Right. You know what's interesting is I'm
No, really, what do you
yeah,
prefer?
truly, I'm open to all of it.
Okay.
In particular, because so I live in the UK now,
hmm
and what I've noticed is that there are 15 checkmark boxes
Yeah.
for any type of version of Black. It could be Afro-Caribbean. It could be
Oh.
you are literally from Nigeria or Ghanaian.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more options, if you will. So me personally, I'm
Yeah.
open to it all.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But now, how did you then remain? Because I feel like throughout, I mean, I don't know you, but I feel like I kind of know
You
you.
know me.
I know you.
Come
I
on.
know
You
you.
guys all know
I
me.
know you. I know you. Is that you have always presented to me as very liberal, very open-minded.
Mhm.
Uh, how did that form from that base in Chicago?
I think because my parents were split politically, my mom leaned a little more Republican, and my dad was a staunch Democrat, worked at the precincts, canvassed, and he was the more involved one. And my mom being a Republican, I think I thought that was just kind of funny because I felt like her arguments never held up. And my dad's arguments for his base and his way of liberal thinking made sense to me. And so politically, I just made fun of my mom and then leaned toward my dad.
Hey there, I just want to share a content warning. This episode includes discussion of addiction. If you or someone you know needs support, we've included resources in the show notes. Please take care while watching. Okay, so now thinking about you, so you're talking about Maggie,
Yeah.
right? Your father, John.
Yeah.
All right. What do you believe you learned about love and relationships from your parents?
Okay, when I would ask my mom and dad, who were married for 64 years, I would ask them, what is the secret? And my mom would say, well, the guy has to love the woman 5% more. That, for some reason, was some stat that she had in her head. You know, the Republicans, she can't talk to them. They make no sense. And my dad would consistently say, until the day he passed away, I just think your mom is the greatest woman, most beautiful, funniest, smartest, my best friend, and I just think she's the tops.
That's beautiful.
I know, and he really meant it.
It's
And he
beautiful.
treated her with respect. He respected her opinions. He listened to her. He changed diapers. He was actually quite a feminist. He probably wouldn't have used that word, but
Yes.
he really thought women were equal, and he pitched in as a dad. He worked in retail. Like, we didn't come from money. So he worked at a store called Radio Shack.
Radio Shack.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So he was the manager of Radio Shack.
Oh my
And
goodness.
my mom and I we had one car. My mom and I would go pick him up in the Dodge Dart after work, and I get to go along for the ride if I was, good that day or something. And my dad would be sweeping the floor because he'd be pissed that the kids that were working for him weren't sweeping well enough. And he'd be like, God damn it, I gotta sweep the floor once again. If you want something done right, do it yourself. And that kind of encapsulates who they really were.
I could see it. Now you had 4 siblings.
Yeah, so I was the youngest of 5.
So with the 5 of you all,
Yeah.
your brother's 20 years older.
Yeah.
So that's why you're saying it could be come and go.
He was pretty much out of the house, but he was still very present in our lives. And my mom was so twisted. She made my oldest brother my godfather, and the second oldest, who was my sister Joyce, my only sister, was my godmother. So, if you're Catholic, that shit sticks. Like, if my parents were to die in a plane crash, then I would have been just given to my older siblings.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I guess when you're the youngest of 16, you're warped as well.
Well, you're what? I don't think she was warped. She wasn't warped, right?
I mean, she enjoyed her boxed wine. That's all.
Did she?
Oh my God.
Wait.
And then whiskey.
And then whiskey. Did she? So now she drank,
Yeah.
But do you think that bordered on alcoholism?
Oh, I think they were full-blown alcoholics, but they never did. And they thought it was a riot that I would say stuff like, okay, let's see if you guys can go one day without booze. If you're not alcoholic, you can go one day. And they would be pouring the wine, going, oh, Kathleen, you're so dramatic. And so I would say that they came from an era like the TV show Mad Men,
Yes.
where you would have a drink even at the office. And I just grew up in a house of a lot of denial, and I think that's why I'm this kind of comedian. I like to shine the light on stuff. I'm not afraid to say anything because I grew up in a household with, of the time, Irish Catholic secrets, a little too much drinking, but we didn't call it alcoholism then. It was just having drinks. And yet I think back on that time and it's kind of amazing that we survived it.
It is. So this is the part that I'm confused on.
Yeah.
Because you said you grew up in this house, lots of denial,
Yeah.
but yet you recognized it.
Yeah.
So there was a level of confidence that you had. But I know that throughout your career, you suffered with self-esteem,
Oh, yeah.
right? Two different things,
Yeah.
but connected.
Hmm.
So when you think about, what do you think it was? Maybe about you, maybe just about the environment that allowed you to see through the lies?
I don't
see-
know.
see.
It's a curse. It's a curse because I would say stuff that the rest of the family just wouldn't say out loud. And then I became the odd man out. I was the big mouth of the family, and the rest of them were like, enough, Kathleen.
Okay. So you were the big mouth,
Yep.
right? Were you,
From early on,
From
like
early on.
child age,
how old do you think?
like first grade.
First grade?
Oh, I was getting kicked out of school in first grade
Because of,
because I was the class clown. And I would sass back at the nuns, and those nuns were vicious. One time, get this, I got in trouble I was too boy crazy, and I was like hitting on some other first grade boy. And then the nun said, put on your coat. So I put on my winter coat. And we used to have a thing called the cloakroom, and it was just where you hung your coats. She hung me up on a hook because there was a loop in the back of the jacket, and I had to hang there like that in the cloakroom until I was out of trouble
see,
because I talked too much and I was boy crazy.
and you were boy crazy.
Yeah.
All right. First grade.
Yeah.
Now, when you were talking too much, was it cracking jokes?
Yeah.
It was jokes.
Cracking jokes and probably making fun of the nun, probably making fun of the class itself, the institution. Going to a Catholic school was super crazy.
So you knew in first grade
Yeah.
this was...
I thought it was crazy. The whole wearing uniforms and the hierarchy. I call my show My Life on the D List because I've always been very aware of, I want to make fun of hierarchies because they are ever present. And whether it's A list to D list or the cool kids and the jocks and the nerds and the theater kids, I was kind of aware early on, oh, there's groups and you have to levitate toward one of them. And I tried to be a floater and I couldn't pull it off as a floater. So I had to go with the bad kids.
Okay, you went with the bad kids.
Yeah.
So you were, but you're naturally probably a theater kid.
Yeah.
But the theater kids weren't the bad ones.
But they wanted to take off classes to rehearse. So there was we were so into the theater that we thought that was our purpose for school.
Okay.
So we'd be ditching like math and science. Then we'd go and rehearse or try to crack more jokes or go into the city for a day, like take the L and go into downtown Chicago. That was a big deal.
Yes, yes. So did you consider yourself more comedic, more truth teller at that age?
I was trying to be comedic because I was obsessed with all the sidekicks on the shows that I grew up loving, like the Mary Tyler Moore Show. But I never wanted to be Mary because I was like, well, the pretty girl gets to star on the show, but the funny girl, like Rhoda or Phyllis, they
Yes.
come in, they kill, they get a joke, and then they get out. And I thought, that's what I should do. Because I'm too much to be the star. I should be the sidekick where I just come in, boom, get my daggers out, and then leave the room.
How old were you when you made that realization?
Oh, it's one of my first memories. Like, I've known that I wanted to do this since I can remember.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How did you start to practice or rehearse?
Oh, I did the Kathy Griffin show at the family dinners, which was never a hit. So my mom, who didn't cook, she would make something called hamburger helper. Which
Remember
is
this?
a dish
Yes.
predicated on the notion that hamburger needs help. And so she would make dinner.
Comes out of the box?
Yep. And the sauce was a powder. that you just put hot water on. And my favorite was beef stroganoff, let's go with. And I would pull up a chair and I would say, okay, it's time for the Kathy Griffin show. Then I would sing the theme to the Johnny Carson show, which I did not have the rights to do and I will not do now. And I would do readings from a book I was reading at school. I would do characters. I would try to tell jokes. And mostly I made up stories,
Made up stories.
which I'm doing to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I shouldn't say makeup. I embellish. I embellish a little.
You embellish.
Dramatic license.
All right. So at a young age,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
In comedy. I have a sidekick somewhere in the world of comedy.
All right. Everyone is telling you this is not an option for you.
No, I live in Forest Park, Illinois. There's nobody famous from my town. There's nobody who teaches you what a set looks like or what it's like to be a real working actor as opposed to what you think a star is. They didn't talk in those days about the difference between fame and talent and being a star. Like there weren't influencers. And so I just tried to learn as much as I could and absorb as much as I could. And luckily, my parents were kind of Hollywood files. Like they really did love great films and great television and great theater. And so we were pretty open to the arts in our house.
Okay.
But the idea of one of us being an artist was insane.
Was insane.
Yeah.
So at a very young age, though,
Yeah.
I understand you moved to LA.
Yeah, well, I tricked my parents. I'm going to be honest. I knew that I couldn't make a living in Forest Park, Illinois, and I knew I had to live in LA or New York, but I couldn't afford to. And I was still young enough to live with my mom and dad.
Okay. And
So,
how old were you? Kat,
18.
this time? 18. Okay.
So when they decided to retire because the winters are too brutal in Chicago, my dad loved golf. He lived for golf. Never was a member of a club or anything like that, but would go to the par 3 or the public course and loved it. And so I told him that I had done a lot of research in many papers and I had clippings that proved that Los Angeles has more public golf courses than any place in the world.
Okay.
And they bought it because they were going to go to San Diego, which is great, but it's also still too far to make a living in LA. And so I told them, and I backed it up with a couple clippings.
Oh my God.
I had a presentation.
So literally, you lied to them.
I lied,
to your
yeah.
parents,
Right to their face.
right to their face.
Yeah.
Only-
About their entire future. Think about having a retirement planned, and then your 18-year-old just bullshits you with clippings.
Yeah. That's.
When's the last time you heard the word clippings? I mean, seriously,
I was
let's
saying,
start
like,
there.
Clippings. Yeah, clippings.
I know.
But that's. I mean, do you regret that?
No,
You don't
I
regret-
don't. I think it was genius.
Okay.
I can't believe. And then I started doing that stuff more, which I do to this day.
Okay. So you lied to get your parents
Yeah,
to
to
move
my
to
own
LA.
agenda.
So you could
Yeah.
get to LA.
Yeah.
So you get there. You're 18.
Yeah.
They're there. Are they happy? Does your father
They
discover?
loved it. California is like the moon. If you're from Illinois, we couldn't get over the weather alone. And we couldn't get over how polite everybody is here. And it's so clean here compared to Chicago at the time. And it was like landing on Mars. I mean, and to look at the ocean for the first time
Yes.
was just wild. I would just walk down there and just look at it. Go in it like at night, like a crazy person. Like what 18-year-old girl just walks in the Pacific Ocean when it's dark out? I remember a security guard being like, "Come in, miss. Come in, crazy lady." But my mind was blown to be
just
in
loved it.
California.
And so your parents are having a good time.
Oh, they're at the par 3. They're making friends. My dad's golfing every day.
So he's loving it here, obviously.
Yeah, but I have to tell you what we did for an activity. And this is, like I said, this is all twisted. My mom would look in the paper to see anything where there would be a red carpet. So the three of us, my mom and dad and myself, we went to every red carpet event that was in the paper. Like they'd say, tonight, the premiere of George Lucas's new film, Star Wars. So we would be among the people at the red carpet, just there with an old-fashioned camera, and maybe you would bring an autograph, but you didn't expect selfies or anything like that.
Right.
And so we used to do that as a family. Go to red carpet after red carpet and just watch celebrities.
That is. So what did you learn doing that? Because I would imagine that you're very observant, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to these red carpets.
I learned that the red carpet is part of the job. So the job doesn't stop when you're off stage. And I remember watching these dames thinking, oh my God, they are really dressed to the nines. They got the hair and makeup on point. I got to start doing that. And I got to start showing up for auditions as if I'm on the set itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now you just mentioned they've got their hair and makeup on point.
Yeah.
So is that the first time that you realized, okay, visually,
Yes.
there's a certain way I
Yes.
have to present?
And I've never seen so many thin people in my life. I couldn't believe how thin everyone was because they're even thinner in person, these celebrities. And everybody's so small. I don't know how anybody survives nutritionally.
That's what I'm saying. They were not eating.
Not eating, no.
Yeah.
There was no Ozempic then.
No.
You had to starve yourself.
You're right. There was no Ozempic then.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, all right. So you're learning quite a bit. You're only 18, 19.
Okay, so also, I'm not proud of this. I would also climb the walls of Fox and Warner Brothers, and I would basically commit a felony of breaking and entering on movie studios. And one time I got to watch them film the TV show MASH for a whole day by hiding on the set.
Really?
I actually got on the set.
This is not an embellishment.
Swear to God, my brother John went with me, and then we got to watch them make Charlie's Angels.
Oh my gosh.
Not
Charlie
kidding.
Angels.
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett?
No, not a Faraday.
Oh, okay.
But the other two brunettes were there. And so my brother would have a fake script. So he would try to get in that way. So we'd get like a pile of papers and get the wire things to keep it together. And we would talk to each other and we would sneak into studios
Really?
like criminals.
You were a criminal.
I am a criminal.
You are a criminal.
Yes.
You are.
I know. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So you would break in to watch.
Yeah.
But was the objective like just to watch?
learn.
To
Because
learn.
I was like, well, I'm doing community theater. I'm starting to do student films for free and all this stuff, which I still do, by the way. But I was like, how do the pros really do it?
Yes.
And so it was fascinating to watch, especially a show like MASH that was such a well-done show, and to watch those actors under that pressure and watch them do multiple takes and different angles. Every time I committed that felony, it was worth it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I can see how focused you were
Oh, yeah.
on this was your career. It was a career.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like I have the gift of the hustle and always have.
Yes. So now you said you were doing community theater.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning
Yeah.
of it.
And I want to be a professional. Like, I don't want to just do community theater. So when I went to Strasbourg, it was a great environment because it put me with people that wanted to go into this as a profession, not just like, the bored person who wants a hobby on the side. I needed to be with people that made a living doing this.
What was the first paid gig that you can remember getting after graduating?
Commercials.
Commercials.
I did a commercial for the Chicago White Sox when I lived in Chicago. And they used to have their White Sox park used to be called Comiskey Park.
Yes.
And so I played their theme song on a kazoo. And it was Na Na Hey Hey Goodbye. But I sang Na Na Hey Hey Good Times. And they did a close-up on my face, or close enough that's how I got in the union. I went from being an extra to being a principal with a kazoo at Comiskey Park singing Na Na Hey Hey.
Oh my gosh, a kazoo. I
Kazoo.
haven't even heard anyone mention a kazoo in years.
I mean, where's the kazoo community when we need them?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kazoo's that's a legitimate instrument.
Because I lied and said I could play it because, as you know, I'll lie to get the gig. And then I learned just that day.
Kazoo just humming though, right?
Yeah, it's nothing to learn. But I still got my way from an extra to a principal.
Yes. So by 21 though, you haven't landed the big role.
Right.
What was it that prevented you from giving up?
I love it so much. I love it so much. I love the bad days. I love the good days. I love it all. All right, the bad days suck, but I learn from them. And I just have a love for it that it doesn't feel like a job. I was dear friends with Joan Rivers, and I told you we would talk about my handbag.
Yes.
Because her daughter, the
Chanel
Chanel bag,
Yes.
because Joan's daughter Melissa, who's my good friend, she recently had an auction because Joan wanted her things auctioned off. And I went to the preview. I've never been to an auction. And I went to the preview and I said to Melissa, okay, what should I really fight for? And she goes, the Chanel bag. And so I got that Chanel bag, and it reminded me of all the times I would be having lunch or dinner with Joan, and she would come in with the Chanel bag right there, and she would come in and just say something crazy like, Charlize Theron, or not. And we would sit down and have dinner and go from there. I have nothing against Charlize Theron, by the way. It was just random. We would just talk shit randomly about people.
Joan Rivers, Carol Burnett, I would imagine.
Yeah, who grew up with icons, idols, made me feel like, oh, maybe there's a place for me. Because these are women that were gingers or atypical looking. At the time, Joan Rivers was revolutionary for many reasons. She was the first female comedian to do a set on The Tonight Show while pregnant.
Oh,
She broke every kind of record you can. And so it still blows my mind to say, like, we were good friends because I grew up idolizing her. And then we got to work together and we became good friends. And she's been a really big influence on my life and career.
yes,
I miss her a lot.
yes. I always remember about Joan Rivers was how outspoken she was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Fearless.
Fearless. Right. In the face of so much resistance.
So much misogyny and ageism. And,
Ageism, absolutely.
ageism was rough, man. And it hasn't really gotten better. Like, she and I would talk about that a lot because she would talk about how in her day, it was only Moms Mabley and Toady Fields. Like, that was it. And then Phyllis Diller came along. And then there was a big span of time. And then Joan Rivers came along. So I will say it's a battle that I still fight. The sexism, ageism thing is real. It's out there. I know people get mad when I say that, but I'm living it. So give us ladies of a certain age a chance and we can make you laugh.
We're going to go deep on this particular topic.
Okay.
But I want to figure out, at what point do you feel like you've broken through? At what point?
Okay. When I finally got to be on a TV show where it actually was airing, and it was episode 5 of the entire series of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I go to the table read. Andrew Young was there. Quincy Jones was there
Yes.
at the table read because all the writers were white, but it was still kind of revolutionary to give a rapper a show.
Yes.
And Will
Smith.
became such a great actor, and he was kind of fresh and learning, but that was like a wild set to be on. I remember there was a live audience there, and Flava Flav did the opening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had the clock and everything. Yeah, and just talked to the audience, and it was such a great learning experience to be there. And I was very intimidated by Will, and I learned a lot because he's carrying the whole show. He hasn't really been an actor yet for very long.
Yes.
And I'm watching every move he makes because he's gliding between the Caucasian writers who would say stuff to him in front of me like, how would, can you help us out on a particular cadence you may have with this line? Like, they would say, make it blacker, but they didn't know how to say it.
To say, yeah.
So, I mean, and then Quincy Jones is right there laughing and like trying to tell them. And everyone was well-intentioned. Everybody was pulling for Will. And I remember he finally paid attention to me on taping night. And I thought, oh, that was very smart of him because he conserved his energy. The whole show is on his shoulders. And yeah, I'm the guest star, but I'm still a day player, unknown.
Yes.
But when it came time when the chips were down and the audience was out there, he came back and made me feel relaxed and was joking around. And I said to him, I go, what do you want to be called? Do you want to be called Fresh Prince or Prince? And he was like, you can call me Will. And I that was a great learning experience too. And I could finally tell my friends, I'm on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a real show. It actually exists.
Yes.
And that was the first time that my friends and relatives were like, okay, Kathleen, maybe you can do this.
Maybe. You know what's so wild about that story?
And I was
to me?
36. 36. I wasn't 18. I was 36
when you got that job.
Yeah. So I'm a really late bloomer.
And you did not give up.
No.
That's the part that I keep going.
I had every day job you can imagine. I had fun. I fucked every bar back in LA, always below the line. Every key grip, every best boy. And so I had fun, but no, I was still determined to stick with it because I was in a comedy theater company called the Groundlings.
Yes.
And they had a lot of success stories come out of there. And I thought if I stick with it and get better, it'll be my turn someday. And then it eventually was my
You
turn.
got it. How did you get that gig on Fresh Prince?
I auditioned because I was auditioning for every wacky best friend redhead part that they had. So there were a group of us girls that I would see at every audition. And I'd walk in, see the same 5 girls, and they always got the job. So I'd be like, oh, hi. And it was always me, Holly Robinson Pete, Megan Mullally, it was going Amy Peets, others that I'm sure went on to big fame. I can't remember, but it was funny being in that like sidekick audition clique.
Yes.
And then eventually one of the auditions actually paid off after like 70. Her nose is too big. Sorry, we're going to go pretty. They used to say that right to my face.
Did they?
They loved you, but they're going to go pretty. And they would say it like, so it's not personal, Kathy, that you had a good audition, but they're going to go pretty. And I'd be like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I guess they went pretty.
How does that begin to impact your self-esteem?
Well, you
Here.
internalize it. You internalize it. I think people that say they don't are lying. I mean, I internalize it to this day. I'm better at staying away from it. But, when you get told by your own agent, you're really talented, but they're going to go pretty. I remember a casting director said, you are just one nose job away from getting a job. And I went and got a nose job. I would have done anything.
Okay. Did the nose job change anything for you?
Of course not. The nose job didn't change shit. I still had to keep auditioning and not getting jobs. But then finally, Fresh Prince took pity on me and hired me for one episode.
Look at that.
And then I got a bunch in a row. So I got like 5 guest spots in 1 year,
Yes.
which was insane.
That was when you hit my radar.
Okay.
So, and I think it was Fresh Prince.
Oh, I love it.
But what I recall though is I feel like it was like, okay, you're a star. That's how I viewed it.
I was so acting as if I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm like somewhat funny. I know I can do this role. I was tailor-made for this role, but I have to not be the one that screws up a take, because then the whole crew has to stop because of me. So I was very fear-driven.
Yes. But also as a comedian though, in
Mm-hmm.
that space, I would imagine it's even more challenging.
Well, I will say, and this is something I struggle with to this day, I do struggle doing other people's words, because I then was more of an improviser than a stand-up, but I was doing so much improvisation, performing 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday with the Groundlings. I even taught improv classes,
you? Wow.
which was the greatest day job I ever had. It was really fun. And so I have to really work 3 times harder to do other people's lines, because I'm so used to saying, okay, I know what this character is. Can I improvise? And on a real show like Fresh Prince, they're just like, no, you cannot.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, yes, sir.
Yes, these are the lines.
Yeah.
So you said that there was 5 roles that you got in succession
Yeah.
right away. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember?
Mad About You was one. There was a show called Caroline in the City. I got to be at ER.
Yes.
Yeah. Directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, really?
Yes. And every gig that I would do,
He directed ER.
he directed one, A Very Special Blossom.
Okay.
That's what I call it. I directed one episode of ER, and I got to be on it. Well, I was dating him at the time, but not like exclusive, but,
You were dating him.
situationship.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
I did definitely want to talk about relationships, but we're here.
Yeah. Well, you're the expert.
So Quentin Tarantino,
Yes.
Kathy Griffin,
In bed together.
in bed together,
Spooning.
spooning. I never.
Picture it, people.
Let me try to see. Or do you spoon him or he spoons you?
I'm the little spoon.
You're the little spoon.
I'm the little spoon.
All right, of course you are. Of
Yeah.
course you are. So I would not have made that match.
No.
Who approached who in that scenario?
I think he approached me, and I remember him being incensed that I had not seen Reservoir Dogs yet. And I was like, I don't know, it sounds like a movie with a bunch of dudes. I mean, I don't know, I hear it's kind of gory. And then he arranged, not arranged, but they were screening it at a theater called the New Beverly here in town.
Okay.
And he called the entire cast. And I got to go watch Reservoir Dogs with the cast
That's next level.
and Quentin.
That's next level. That's one of my
And
favorite
we went out to a
films.
diner afterwards, and I got to like hang with them, and I was just trying to just be cool and like fit in and to get a couple jokes out when I can. And it was wild to be in that environment.
Do you think he did that because he's trying to, he's trying to show
It's a
you?
flex.
It's a flex.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
of
was a
course.
flex. Like, you come over here, sit
Yeah.
down, right?
Insane.
And what was it about him that attracted you to him?
I like his mind. He's a very complicated guy. He really loved my dad, which I found very touching. That was really sweet. And I am fascinated by his process. I have this thing. I love excellence, and I know Quentin is problematic in many ways, but I do think he has an excellence when it comes to filmmaking. I know firsthand he has a genuine love for filmmaking, like I have for stand up. So I think we connected in that way. And, we just went out a few times, but he's a very interesting guy.
Yes, yes. You said you love excellence. I could see that because I
Like
see that.
when he was writing Pulp Fiction,
Yes.
he would call me at like 3 a.m.
Are you serious?
and read me a scene. That's excellence. Because then the part that I couldn't believe is what he read to me was what ended up in the movie. So very few rewrites.
Did he write all of Sam Jackson's parts?
Yes.
He did.
Yes. And Sam loves him.
Yeah, I mean
No,
that.
I know. But now we got to deal with N-word, and it's a thing, and I get it.
Yeah, that's what I was
So I'm
saying.
trying to
He-
walk
and
the
he-
line. I'm
he,
saying
he wrote that. So he wrote that for Sam.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
I know,
So-
but it was also crazy that John Travolta was in it
Yeah.
and playing a hitman.
I'm sorry.
So it was all nuts.
Because I love Pulp Fiction so much, I have to ask you.
I was there for the writing of it.
You were there for the right.
Yes.
So did he literally read you Sam Jackson's parts?
Okay, this is
Did he?
this is going to blow your mind. Not only did he read all the parts with a cadence that would be inappropriate if I were to do, let's just say, he actually called me the night he wrote the scene about there being no dead N-words in the yard.
And he just to let,
When the fixer comes, when Harvey Keitel shows up as the fixer, and he read it, and it was almost word for word the way it ended up in the movie.
wow,
Yeah.
that is some story. That's
Yeah.
going to live with me for a long time.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
My gosh. Okay. So on that subject though, right?
Yeah.
You're dating him. He was directing that episode of ER.
Yeah.
You were in that
Yeah.
episode too. Do you feel like there's a murkiness? Because I often hear in LA, in Hollywood, there's just a lot of commingling
Yeah, it is.
happening.
I that's why, I talk about the famous guys I went out with because it's only a couple. And most chicks my age that are in the game, they have like a whole laundry list. And I really don't love that part. I don't really care to be with a celebrity because of all the stuff that goes with it. And I know too many. And so I felt like Quentin and I were so more friends, I'd say, that it didn't feel like that much of a conflict.
Okay. All right.
So he cast me in the episode of ER, and that was crazy because I was such a fan of the show, and I'm in a scene with George Clooney. And then Quentin and George Clooney and I went to George's trailer and started prank calling our friends. So imagine being able to call one of your friends and go, "Hey, you want to talk to George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino right now?" That's what we would do.
And then what would they say?
They would play along.
They'd be like, gosh.
Because I would start to stir shit up. Like that was what I would do. Even on the set of ER, I was like stirring the pot.
Were you? Did you begin to feel as if you had arrived at that moment?
I mean, I still can't believe I was on ER. So I've never lost that sense of, oh my gosh, I am in a room. I'm working with George Clooney. He's different. Like I've worked with a lot of actors in student films and stuff, but okay, now I get it.
Yes.
And so I started being around that and had the privilege of learning from every single person I ever worked with.
I could see it. So ER, Suddenly Susan, I would imagine.
Yeah, so that was
Happens.
a life-changing gig because I was also the girl that they always called when the first girl didn't work out. So they shot the pilot with a different best friend, because I was always the best friend, or the nosy neighbor, or the spying aunt, or the yelling at the kids to get off the lawn. Like that was me. Or the hooker with a heart of gold. I played a lot of hookers.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, or a madam. I'd play a hooker or a madam, and happy to. By the way, if it paid the bills, I was happy to.
Right. Okay.
And so I
Can I just say a hooker with a heart of gold?
yeah, hooker with a heart of gold.
That's the key for
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
that's a niche market that if you can get in, you'll work the rest of your life.
Yes. Yes. So you played a lot of those.
There's a lot of great movies that have a hooker with a heart of gold.
Yes, there are. So these were all roles that you loved.
Not only did I love, all right, I can't believe they let me do this. Even when I only had the little part on Fresh Prince or one day on ER, they let me bring my parents to every gig I had. And I am not kidding. So you've got these retired, old, hilarious drunks, and they can't be anything but authentic. They were totally authentic. And I would ask, at my low level, I would say, I know this is a weird request, but my parents are from Illinois and they're very polite, and I promise they'll be really quiet on set. Would you consider letting them watch? And I'd say they're, like 85 and 87. And at the time they were like 60. And every gig said yes.
Yeah.
So every time I had a real gig, I had my mom and dad there with folding chairs that they put in their trunk, and they would just take out the folding chairs. They had a cooler, so the cooler had wine and maybe some like cheese and crackers.
Why did you do that?
It was so much more joyous for me to do the work knowing it was making them so excited. My dad talking to George Clooney, I knew that would be a meaningful thing for him, and he would tell his buddies at the golf course about it. Or I knew he was so authentic that there was no celebrity that I couldn't bring them around, because they really were just who they were, and they were real, and people picked up on it like that.
So did you feel as if your parents were proud of you?
My parents were proud of me for sure, but that took a while. That was like maybe when I bought my first house or something that was more tangible, because my mom always thought it's going to go away tomorrow. And I still think that.
At what point do you truly see the hierarchy in Hollywood?
I think it wasn't until I first of all, when I got to be on a show with someone as globally famous as Brooke Shields, who is a global beauty and also famous actress and attracted a ton of attention. And at the time, she was married to the tennis player Andre Agassi,
Oh yeah, she was married to Andre.
who was on meth. He was on meth. That was crazy. Let me tell you about the 90s.
You're actually destroying my childhood. I didn't know
He wrote
was.
about it in his book. He wrote
Did
a
he?
book called Closer, like Look at Me Closer. And he dropped the bomb that he was doing meth. Like, did they not test urine for tennis?
For tennis, yeah.
In the 90s? But anyway, they were quite a couple. So I learned a lot from watching them be hounded by paparazzi, how they carried themselves, when they would respond to a rumor, when they would not. And that was wild to be even in the presence of Brooke Shields and Andre Agassi. And then I saw the way men fawn over an athlete, and it was different. Like, they were knocked over by Brooke, but when Andre would come around, the head of the studio would come, the head of the network would come, and they could barely even talk to him. They were like, "Oh, Mr. Agassi, oh, it's nice to meet you, sir. You are great." And I was like, oh, it's different for guys. They have a different kind of adulation.
Mm.
And on that show was when I met Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Suddenly Susan.
Yeah.
My God. Do you remember first meeting Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah, of course. You can't miss him with the hair, that bird's nest of a hair. It was, even then, it was crazy. Now, he was not as crazy. Let me just say, he was still with Marla Maples.
Okay.
So he brought Marla. And I remember he was bitching a lot that Warner Brothers didn't send a private jet for him, which is funny because they just didn't do that for anybody. But he thought that they would break the rules for him. And I remember him complaining a lot about having to fly out to California from New York. But other than that, he was just a total starfucker. He wanted to be around Brooke as much as possible. He wanted to tell people that he was friendly with Brooke Shields. It was a wild episode because he was already a really famous guy, and we thought he was this successful realtor.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what we thought.
Yeah, and that
No
was,
political aspirations whatsoever.
yes, and that was probably what right around Art of the Deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was prior to The Apprentice, though.
prior to The
Yeah.
Apprentice. Okay. Now I'm really curious about the hierarchy. So, and that's
Okay.
interesting. You saw how there was this adulation for Agassi,
Yeah.
which was above Brooke Shields.
Yes, so much.
Okay. What else did you notice? So, is that where you started to just really see? Okay, there's
There's an A list, and I learned so much from Brooke about how to deal with the media. Now, she and I deal with them in opposite ways. I run towards the controversy. She's more, stately and is an idol to this day and all this. She has an actual legacy. I'm just getting in trouble whenever I can. But I did learn a lot from watching her work with the media and soften things out, or like I said, deal with rumors. And I'd never been around anyone for a length of time that was that famous.
Okay. Okay. So this is Suddenly Susan.
Yeah. I got auditioned on a Friday. They called me Friday night. You're going to work on Monday on a show that already has an order for 23 episodes.
Oh my God.
And then my whole life changed in one day.
What was the fee for that? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I got 15 an episode. So 15K an episode was my quote at the time. And in those days, nobody talked about salaries, which I didn't like. So I went around asking everybody else what they were making. And I found out I was the second lowest paid one on the show.
On the show.
Yeah.
Still, 15,000
15K an episode for 23
$15,000
episodes.
per episode. So this is
Get out of
the most
town.
that you've ever made.
And I did my first HBO stand-up special.
Oh.
So I was doing stand-up concurrently. Can I be honest? I don't know how I did it. I was doing a 40-hour job or whatever Suddenly Susan was.
Right.
And, high stakes, trying to keep the studio happy, the network happy, trying to get a raise. Every year I tried to get a raise. And also doing stand-up and trying to make my voice separate from Suddenly Susan.
Yes.
And then I got my very first stand-up special because I was a girl, so they wanted to meet the quota at HBO. And they had to give one to a girl every year. And I got it. I said to the head of the network, why did I get a special? And he said, because you're a girl and you're on a network series.
That was exactly what you were
Yeah.
told.
There was no HR.
There was no HR.
You had to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, you're going to take it.
Of course.
So now help me understand this. First is, Suddenly Susan, you're the second lowest paid person,
Yeah.
but still making quite a bit relative to.
And I was the
Still-
sidekick, which is my wheelhouse. And I was actually getting like nice reviews. So I was kind of living the dream on that show.
Yes, yes. So now that must change you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You go from having no money to having a lot of money, it changes you.
All right. So how does it change you?
Well, I'm going to say something that's unpopular, but it just is my experience. And that's that I felt that the people around me changed when I got money. I didn't feel like I did. I still don't feel like I do. But I have always been very financially focused. I have no debt. I own my house outright. I'm worth about $50 million. And I say that because not enough women talk about that. We're supposed to be ashamed of that.
Right.
But I worked really hard to earn every dollar of that.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of dick jokes to get there. And I got them. And so I talk about that because I think, the guys kind of get to flex or talk about it, or they help each other. They go, really, how'd you do it?
Yes.
And women, we tend to all be going for the same job. And so we're not as united as the guys are.
Fair, fair. I appreciate that. I really do. But how does the circle then change around you? That
Well, I started getting to know celebrities because they would either be a guest star on Suddenly Susan. So you spend 5 days with somebody, and then sometimes a friendship would happen. Or there were other shows on the lot, like they were taping Friends 2 stages down, and you see the Friends, and I was good friends with Lisa Kudrow, who played Phoebe.
okay.
And so it was great to see Lisa and see her do well. And I tried to get in as much with that community as I could. And that's really how the concept of the D list started, is I was on the list because I was on a show, but Brooke was A list. And I think the B list is probably a TV star, but at the time there weren't as many TV people that did movies. C list was like probably more of a name than I was, and then D list is where I come in.
Okay.
And that's my wheelhouse, and that's where I feel comfortable. And it probably started then.
All right.
Because I feel like it's good to be on the list as an outsider looking in.
Okay. Why so?
Because then as a comic, I get to tell you who's naughty and who's nice
Okay.
and lift up the veil and show you what's really going on.
So as a self qualified D-lister, right,
Yes.
do you want to elevate? Do you want to go become C, B, A, or no?
I used to, but now I don't.
Yeah.
Because the spotlight, which I've had on me in a global scandal, which we'll discuss, I have had the spotlight on me in a way that is negative. I have learned that the cliche, there's no such thing as bad publicity, is actually not true. There is such a thing. It can put you out of work for 7 years. And so I used to aspire to do some list jumping to C, B, or A, but now I'm perfectly happy right here on the D list.
On the D-list.
Yeah.
It's like, I own this.
I have enough. Like I'm touring. I'm back on the road. I'm back to work, and so I'm happy doing my thing.
Right. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm curious about is go back, Suddenly Susan, HBO special,
Yeah.
which was like the equivalent of a Netflix special probably
Yes.
now,
I mean, I had a billboard on Sunset Strip. It was a big deal.
Yeah. Massive, massive.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first bad press you got during that time?
Oh yeah. I used to laminate them and put them on my refrigerator. So I was always on the worst dress list, no matter what I wore to any red carpet. And I was always getting in trouble for something from my act. So all the tabloids would come see my act and they would say, thankless Kathy Griffin talks smack about star Brooke Shields or whatever. And then they would show a beautiful picture of Brooke and a picture of me like this. And, it happens to this day and it's just part of it. But I did start getting in trouble pretty much the day I started doing stand-up.
The day.
Yeah.
That's when you got bad press.
Yeah.
But that also must impact self-esteem.
Oh yeah. I actually wanted to get off the worst dress list. I worked with a really A-list stylist named Robert Verdi who dressed me in the most beautiful outfits that I have to this day because nobody would loan me because I'm me, so I'm not going to help sell Michael Kors dresses. So I bought all my stuff. So now what I'm doing, you're going to love this. I'm repurposing all of it.
Smart.
So I'm wearing dresses that I wore 20 years ago and now I go vintage Valentino. Vintage.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah, how did you find it? And I'm like, because I wore it to the Emmys in 2006.
Oh my gosh.
I remember on Suddenly Susan, the wardrobe person telling me to take, like, I was doing a fitting and she was like, take it off, it doesn't fit. They don't make that in a 6. And then I learned, a 6 is considered fat in Hollywood. So then I starved myself and I got down to a size 2.
You really did?
Yeah.
Okay. Just so that you could
Fit in the clothes
Fit
and
in the
look better
clothes.
on TV.
look better on TV.
Because the camera really does add 10 pounds. I learned that that's true.
Okay. And then ultimately to keep the part.
To keep the part, always to not get canned.
Okay. So here is a career, a job that you've always aspired to get. You now have reached a place that we could say many people will never reach.
Agree.
Right? But then you start to have these trade-offs.
Yeah. So some celebrities are starting to get mad at me because my act prior to getting on Suddenly Susan was really primarily about dating and my family. But once I started to enter the celebrity world and see what it's really like for myself, I just naturally thought, well, my act has always reflected whatever is going on in my life. And so things in the celebrity realm were happening, swirling around me that I just thought were funny. And that's how I started getting into kind of the niche part of storytelling that is very celebrity related.
Yes, yes. Do you recall the first story that you told about a celebrity that really got you in trouble? Like,
Yeah, but when I would do material about Brooke Shields, I kind of got in trouble from the show, and I think Brooke maybe didn't love it. Sometimes she didn't mind, and I think sometimes she did mind. And I didn't, have a concept of what it was like to have the responsibility that Brooke did as a genuine role model. And so I have had many years experience of trying to talk an A-lister off the ledge and say, no, I was just kidding. This is what I do. I'm a comedian. You wouldn't be mad at Don Rickles, who I looked up
Right.
to and all this stuff. And so I just started not really being unapologetic, but I would have a conversation with someone that was in my act, and I would say to their face, "Well, I'm not gonna take it out."
You're not going to take it out?
And I do that to this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about women in comedy for a second,
Okay.
because this is the stuff that we had Catherine Ryan on,
Great.
and we started doing this research, and it really blew me away on the biases. According to a survey across the United States, and this is 2026,
Yeah.
only 38% of comedians are women. Okay, professional
Yeah.
comedians. In 2011, a study found that in the US, 89% of women and 94% of men think that men are funny.
funnier. I can finish that sentence for you. It's what I fight to this day.
Yeah.
My number one obstacle in selling tickets is quite simply my gender. And I'm just saying that as someone who's been on the road for decades. And I have asked I call my straight guy friends bros. So I've asked my bro friends, okay, if you guys are on a bros weekend, what are the chances that if you have a night off, you're going to go see Chelsea Handler? And the most honest ones would say, I'll be honest, we're going to see Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. Like, it wouldn't occur to us to buy tickets for Chelsea Handler. And I'd say, well, do you not like Chelsea? And they were like, oh, no, she's funny.
Right.
And so I realized that is a bias that is very much still alive and still there. So I do a little bit in my show about chicks not being as funny, but think about the women in your life. Like, I'm sure you had either an aunt or a cousin
Exactly.
that would crack you up more
Hilarious.
than any guy.
Hilarious.
And I'd be like, okay, think of me like that. I'm your obnoxious cousin that cracks you up.
Yes. So in preparation for you coming, I started thinking about comedians where I have purchased tickets
Yeah,
to go see. And you are 100% correct.
it's all guys.
It's all
I know.
guys.
I know.
And that's not saying that I don't consider women hilarious, right? Including yourself.
It's just an instinctive thing where if Chappelle's in town, you guys are going. It's
Exactly.
an event. You're not going to miss it. And yet that same demographic can say, I think Chelsea Handler is just as funny, or I think you can name any female comic, Joan Rivers,
Exactly.
is just as funny.
So how do we change this?
We have to change it by just doing it. Every show I do, I think maybe, there were a handful of guys here that came with their wives because it was, a present or a Valentine's Day gift or whatever. I do shows on Valentine's Day almost every year. And so I try to speak to them and try to get them to give me a chance. And when they do, they usually laugh.
Yeah, yeah. Are you finding that who goes to the shows? Because at this in the study, right?
Yeah.
It's 89% of women
Yeah.
think men are funnier. So like this is an issue.
Well, I have a really big gay following and I have a really big female following. And I'm always telling my representatives, agents, managers, don't think that isn't a demo that you should take seriously. When you have the gay community buying tickets and a lot of women for girls' night out buying tickets, that's a demo to take seriously. And that's what I would be saying in response to them saying, you haven't cracked the top 10 touring artists yet.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now you still made income-wise, you still did phenomenally well, right? And even to go back to when you mentioned you're worth 50 million, that's not bad.
Right?
It's not
I
bad.
know.
Like I want to really give
Come
you
on.
this right here, Kat.
And I have no debt,
And I mean,
no mortgage, no nothing.
how to so that we understand, how was that built? Was it predominantly built off
Brick by
touring?
brick.
Brick was
It was predominantly
combination?
built from television and touring combination. When you have a TV show on, your ticket sales skyrocket. So I took advantage of every year that I was on a TV show, whether it was Suddenly Susan or I had an MTV show called Kathy's So-Called Reality. Then after that, I got my own show on Bravo, which is now Peacock, Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List.
Yes.
And I was touring like a beast at that time. So I'd be filming the D-List, then I'd be going to Atlanta, do a double, and then come back, film more of the D-List. Sometimes they would come with me. We're going to Phoenix. I have a show in Phoenix. Sometimes we do a storyline around Phoenix. And it was integrating those two worlds
There you go. Just
and
literally.
saving every penny.
Okay.
Not buying Lamborghinis, not buying Rolexes, saving every penny, socking it away, because my parents are depression parents. So they really drilled that into me. Use it up, wear it out, make it do. And I've always been a saver. I,
Can anyone tell me why roaming fees are always so expensive? I feel like every time I get back from traveling overseas, I'm hit with a jaw-dropping phone bill. It's actually why I'm excited to try our new partner, Saily, an eSIM app that gives you a safe and secure data connection anytime you travel, and most importantly, without any expensive roaming charges. Now, quite a few of my team used Saily during our last trip to LA, and all accounts were that it was reliable and easy to set up. Saily is available in over 200 destinations, and it comes with built-in security features like web protection and ad blockers. The stuff you don't typically think about, but actually, when you're traveling, is really important to keep your data protected. But the part that really pulls me in is that I can change my online location to the UK. So even if I'm somewhere else, any location-blocked content is still accessible. To give it a try, download Saily from the App Store or scan the QR code on the screen. And if you want 15% off your first purchase, make sure you use my code WNTT at checkout. Details are in the episode description. Just a heads up, this next part includes discussion of suicide. If you or someone you know needs support, we've included resources in the show notes. Please take care while watching. All right, so then 2017, just to set the context for 2017, is
I'd just been canned.
you've just been canned.
Yep. But I just bought a giant house in Bel-Air because I thought I'm going to be in production on something at my house. So I made my house into like a mini set
Okay.
because I thought something's coming where I'm going to need room and real estate. Because I had done a reality show at my house and I was like, okay, get a house that you could do a TV show in.
All right. So also, January 2017, Trump has just become president of the United States.
And remember, I know Donald. So I don't just know him from when he was on Suddenly Susan. I mean, that guy would go to the opening of an envelope. I would see him in New York all the time. Joan Rivers was friends with his sister-in-law, Blaine. And I mean, there was everything from like a roast for Larry King where I sat next to Donald for like 4 hours. And when you're just sitting next to them on the dais, because he was doing a roast and I was doing a roast, you know, I couldn't believe the stupid shit coming out of his mouth. He was just next to me. And I've always known he was a buffoon, but I thought he was a harmless buffoon. So, but I would run into him at press events all the time because we both worked for NBC Universal.
All right. So you knew him. He knew you.
Yeah.
Okay. He
He hired me to be on The Apprentice as part of a challenge one time, paid me
Really?
$50K. Yeah.
really.
Called me and he goes, I want you to come to my golf course in Bedminster. And I'm like, Donald, you offered me 10K. I'm not coming for 10K. And then he goes, what's your number? And I go, my number's 50. And he did it because like any bully, he just backs down. And so he caved. And I went out and I did it because I was hosting a charity event as part of a challenge. I was not a contestant on The Apprentice.
This is
but-
Celebrity Apprentice, maybe.
No, this was the Civilian Apprentice. So I didn't even know the person that I was playing for. And I did the gig because I was the host and they were putting on a charity event and the headliner was Liza Minnelli. So if I get to spend the day with Liza Minnelli,
That's a win.
I'm going to freaking Bedminster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
For
now,
free.
but yeah.
For free. So would you consider yourself and Donald Trump prior to 2017 to be friends?
Friendly,
Friends.
very cordial, very cordial. Like I said, he called me. When I would walk into the room, he would go, oh, here she comes. Look out. She's going to go for the hair. She's going to go for the hair. Like stuff like that.
All right. So this is
I
good
knew
context.
Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric. Yeah.
Okay. So
Isn't that crazy?
this is
That I
know
knew
this.
them?
Yeah, like you know the family.
Yeah.
The family knows you.
Yeah.
All right. So
Ivanka, I call bag of Xanax.
I mean, not
Allegedly.
then.
Allegedly.
Oh, okay. Allegedly. Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
saying, talking to her is like talking to a bag of Xanax.
Oh, really?
Not a lot of energy.
Not a lot going on.
No.
Okay. Okay. So you really know them.
Yeah.
So you know them. So 2017, Donald Trump becomes the president of the United States, which is immediately.
Which is it? Just let me just take a minute.
Okay.
Let me just, because this is a UK show.
Yes.
Let me just say to all of the UK, I'm so sorry that we did that. I don't even know how it happened. I don't even know if he won in a free and fair election. I'll put on my tinfoil hat right now. I don't care. But yeah, he was never supposed to be the president.
I was here in 2017. It was a year before I moved to the UK.
Hillary was supposed to win in a landslide.
It was. I remember that night. The night wasn't it the most surreal night? It was like, I think SNL, Saturday Night Live, did a great spoof around this. There was celebration.
The Javits Center, and then the Javits Center. The party, and then the I'm going home without making a statement. I mean, I was sobbing. I was crying.
It was, I think it was one of those nights where the U.S. stood still for many.
It was so bad for our team, meaning the Democratic Party and anyone progressive and liberal like myself.
So that's 2016, right? But January, he's brought into office. Also, this is followed very quickly by the Women's March, which was the largest protest in the United States history, challenging the administration's stance around gender equality and civil rights.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I attended and spoke at.
You attended and spoke at.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, what happened after that moment?
Well, first of all, based on my own knowledge of Donald, I knew he wasn't qualified to, be dog catcher. And so I felt like I was on a little bit of a mission to try to convince anyone that just based on my own personal experiences with him, he's just not a very bright guy. He's a lot of pomp and circumstance, and he has a larger than life personality.
But can I ask even there?
Yeah.
But you were friendly with him.
Yeah.
So did you ever try to talk to him, call him, communicate with him?
No, because by then, when he came down the escalator and said the Mexicans are rapists, I was like, oh no, he's got dementia now. Like, he's not just dumb Donald. He's crazy. He's lost his mind. And then he started getting in bed with a lot of the far right characters, Fox News, and, holding rallies even after he had won. I mean, all this stuff is unprecedented. And so I just started kind of looking around thinking, okay, America, we're going to fix this somehow, right? I mean, we're going to get this guy to resign like we did with Richard Nixon, right? And you Republicans are going to take a stand against this, right? And I was wrong.
Didn't happen.
The cheese stood alone.
Oh, my God.
I know.
So now, how does the photo, because the photo was the touch point.
My God, it was seismic.
It was like, so how does where is the photo taken?
Okay, so I was between gigs, and so I thought, why don't I do a wacky photo shoot? And so I found a photographer that would do it for free, and we did like 4 setups. One of them was me spoofing Kim Kardashian. So I was wearing this like sexy rubber bikini and sticking out my butt and trying to be like Kim, who, by the way, was my next door neighbor. My next door neighbors were Kim and Kanye for 2 years. It was heaven.
Oh,
absolute comedy heaven.
Oh, yeah, comedy heaven.
Oh, thank you, Lord. And so to this day, my best neighbors. Anyway, so I took a picture as Kim. I think I took one shot as like a 50s trad wife, housewife type of thing.
Yes.
And then, I said, well, I should take some kind of a statement photo about Donald. I don't think people are getting how dangerous he is. And then I was just spitballing with the photographer and whoever else was around, hair and makeup people. And then I said to my assistant, will you go get a Donald Halloween mask and I can put it on one of my wig heads. And if you guys can Photoshop out the wig head holder, then the mask won't fold. And so then it became, all right. He had recently said about that stupid Megyn Kelly that there was blood coming out of her.
Tell me how you really feel about it.
Anyway, so she had moderated a debate. And even though I don't like Megyn Kelly, I didn't like it when Donald later on said there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. Like, is that a menstruation reference? I don't even know.
Okay.
But I remember thinking, let's make blood come out of his wherever and see if he likes it. And so then I had the idea to put ketchup all over the head and make it look like Perseus and Medusa,
Yes.
the famous statue,
Yes.
which I should have done a side by side of a picture of that sculpture, by the way. I think that would have changed the narrative a little.
It would have changed the context.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know who told me that? Hillary fucking Clinton.
Are you serious?
Not even kidding. She goes, I thought the picture was a spoof of Medusa and Perseus. And I was like, why did I think of that? I was like, oh, because you're smart enough to be the president. And you're supposed to be.
She should have told you.
I know.
Yeah, she should. Although, let me ask you this: do you now regret that? Would you go back in that moment and change anything?
No, the only thing I regret is for one day I apologized. I had a press conference and I was a wreck and I hadn't had sleep and I was crying and I was a wreck and I was asking the press to spread the word that we have to take in how dangerous this guy is. That I may have offended you with my photo, but still keep the narrative that this guy doesn't know how to be president. He's running our country into the ground like I've never seen in my lifetime. And nobody's coming to make it better. So I thought that there would be a groundswell of support around me and that Hollywood would back me up and women would back me up and everyone would back me up and the picture would be a statement that would live on. But everybody abandoned me.
Literally.
Yeah.
Let's step by step this.
Yeah. Not everybody. I'm exaggerating, but I'd say I lost about 75% of my friends for good.
That's significant.
Yeah. I had someone say, I was going to produce a project with you, but you went and got yourself indicted.
Okay.
So people were saying that to my face. I was having United States senators calling me saying, what have you done? You're the worst thing to happen to the Democratic Party. And then the White House pushed out the narrative that I was literally a member of ISIS. So the White House pushed it out as a meme. And I know this from a FOIA, which is a Freedom of Information Act.
Yes.
So I got my FOIA, although it's heavily redacted to this day. But 2 government agencies put me under investigation immediately because they were trying to spin a narrative that, number one, I was serious about trying to kill Donald. And number 2, that I was the queen of ISIS.
That you were the queen
The
of
queen
ISIS.
of ISIS and the new face of ISIS, and that American troops would be beheaded in my name, and that they would be making videos saying, this one's for you, Kathy Griffin.
Okay. How did the photo then get to TMZ?
I think the photographer was dumb enough to sell it to them. He probably sold it for $25.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So after the photo is taken,
Yeah.
you're happy with what's happened.
Oh, I thought nothing of it. I wasn't one bit afraid. I thought this picture will live on a gay blog for 2 days. That's it. And then it'll just disappear and nobody will care.
So the photographer, you think, then sells it to TMZ.
Yeah.
TMZ then posts the photo.
Mhm.
And then take me through what happens from your perspective.
Okay, so the phone starts ringing, and one thing I learned was members of the press somehow can get my cell phone. So I don't know if I've had the cell phone number too long or I'm just too approachable, but I started getting calls on my personal cell from the New York Times, New York Magazine, the New Yorker, Atlantic, every publication and TV show you can think of. And they were asking for interviews in a way that I knew wasn't good. It was like, we want to be the first one to have you talk about the disaster. Or do you want to come on the show or talk to us and clear your name in light of the fact that you're the new face of ISIS? So the media, they bought that narrative as well, which is still shocking to me. Still shocking. You know, my old buddy Anderson Cooper issued a tweet right away saying he doesn't stand by me and
I remember.
whatever he called me. And, you know, that hurt so bad because he was my friend and I loved him. And I thought as an experienced journalist, he's got to understand that nothing bad is going to come from that picture. No one's going to get beheaded because of a silly Kathy Griffin picture. And of course, no one did. But the media really bought it coming directly from the Oval Office, which is what I found in my Freedom of Information Act.
So now I'm beginning to see how in that Anderson example.
And then I was on the ticker on
Right.
CNN.
Yes. And weren't you hosting the New Year's
Yeah,
Eve?
I did that for 10 years. I
Yeah, you were
co-hosted
great. You were
NBC.
exceptional. At
It was fun. I loved it.
Yeah. And so you started losing jobs.
Yeah. Well, I was
And
then on the no-fly list.
you're on the no.
Then I was on the Interpol list, which is the international version of the no-fly list. And then I was on the terror watch list, which is called the Five Eyes list.
Did you have to then get security?
Yeah. I
Okay.
spent a lot of money on this whole thing,
Okay.
but I have no regrets.
You have no regrets?
No, I would do it again.
How much did you spend defending yourself?
Probably about $3 million.
And that went to protection.
Security and lawyers.
And lawyers.
I had to really lawyer up because they wanted to charge me with the crime of conspiracy to assassinate the President of the United States, which holds a lifetime sentence. And they would call my lawyers daily, seeing if I would go into the federal building where they could get a shot from a helicopter of me in the plastic handcuffs.
Okay. Did you believe that you could actually get apprehended
Yes.
and spend your life in prison?
Yes. I mean, the hatred coming toward me from the president himself and cabinet members was massive.
Did you have anyone come to your defense?
Well, my lawyers are excellent. And I have, probably 4 different firms I work with, and they all love me because I'm a very good client. I'm always in trouble and I always pay on time. And I consider myself to be a patriot because I've performed for the troops in Afghanistan and Iraq and Kuwait and Uzbekistan. And I definitely lost the troops that day. They did not enjoy that picture, did not like the artistry one bit. And a lot of people are still really, really mad about that picture.
Yes.
And so I had people that were in my life as friends simply call me and say, I just can't be associated with you, like Anderson did.
Like Anderson, yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken with Anderson since?
No,
That's something.
I know.
So I could see how this impacts your entire life.
Yeah.
Your career, your friendships. How does it impact your mental health?
It was crazy because I had so much paparazzi waiting for me to go anywhere. I felt like I couldn't leave my house safely. Um, Going around town with security is not fun for somebody like me because, like I said, I'm happy to be on the D list. It's not really a life I'm comfortable with. And getting visits from the feds that were at once trying to prosecute me, but also had to do their duty as FBI agents and tell me when there was a credible death threat. So the FBI was showing up at my house like once a week to tell me about what they deemed to be credible threats. And I had 3 piles. I had like credible threats, maybe credible threats, harmless threats. And so I had to take in, and they had to try to keep track of the physical mail I was getting because people still write physical letters, and also the online threats, which were, of course, endless.
And if it's I guess if it's a credible threat, you then have to figure out.
They have to tell you what it is. They can tell you a little bit, but then they always say, well, we're in the middle of an investigation. So, like, there was a guy that had a list of people he was going to kill. He was called the Shoe Bomber. And we had to take our shoes off for airplanes because one time a guy put a bomb
Yes.
in the sole of his freaking sneaker. And that guy had a list of people he was going to kill, and I was on that list. So the FBI had to come over and be like, okay, you're on the Shoe Bombers list, which means all of his fans, because he's so deep in MAGA world, they're willing to do the dirty work for him now that he got caught.
So that inspires other people to want to
Yes.
take your life.
Yeah, they were worried about copycats.
Okay. Okay. I can't imagine how you even fall asleep. How do you even eat cereal? Like how do you?
You don't.
How do you,
You don't.
exist?
You don't. I remember that day. This is really weird. That day I had planned a girls' dinner. And I was crying all day and in my pajamas and probably hadn't taken a shower or anything. And it was just fielding phone calls and lawyering up. And yet I kept my dinner date. And guess who came over? Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner came over and she brought Rita Wilson and Melanie Griffith. And they comforted me and they were there for me. And Chris was so funny because she's like putting on lipstick going, "Oh, just apologize." I tell my kids to apologize all the time. And so I thought, oh, if I apologize, it'll go away. And then Melanie Griffith goes, "I think tomorrow you should do Pence's head." And I'm like, "Melanie, you're not helping." And so they were trying to keep me laughing, and they kept me going that first night.
Yeah. I see that you needed them.
Yeah.
You needed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed up. They weren't afraid to walk in the house.
Yes. Because you're right. The paparazzi were there.
Yeah.
So by them walking in, they're signaling.
Yeah. We don't
their
think she's a
support.
member of ISIS.
Look at that.
We don't think she's trying to kill anybody.
Look at that. Look at that. So now, Kathy, we can go as far or light on the subject as you want, but then the turmoil internally continued for you.
Yeah. So I then became addicted to prescription pills. That's how I dealt with it. So when you ask, how did I sleep? I didn't. And so that was my life for about 2 to 3 years. And I didn't know it could get out of control because I thought, well, these are prescribed. And then I tried to take my life, and I took like 100 pills, and all that happened was I fell down my own staircase. And so I had all these bruises and lacerations. And then one of my doctors said, "You should come in for an x-ray to see if you broke any bones." And when I went in, they were like, "And we're going to keep you for 3 days." And I was on a 5150 psych hold
Okay.
for 3 days, lockdown.
Lockdown, which is where
In
they
the
don't
psych
allow
ward.
you. Yeah, they keep you in the psych ward
Yeah.
to evaluate you.
Yep.
See if you'll harm yourself.
Yeah, and because I'm legit crazy. Like a lot of comics are like, "I'm crazy." No, I have papers to prove it.
Now
I'm
yeah,
really crazy.
you do have the papers.
Yeah.
You do have the papers. But we can spend a second on you wanting, you said, to take your life.
Yeah.
And you tried to. Um, you've had such a glorious life, right? And then the 2 years were hell
Yeah.
for you.
Well, I also was the out of work is what got to me internally.
Okay.
I was so used to either being on a TV show or being on the road that I didn't know what to do with myself all day. I was like, who am I if I'm not being Kathy Griffin and making you guys laugh? And so that is my identity. A lot of people say your career should not be your identity. I don't feel that way. I love my career so much that they're very intermingled. And also, I was the most hated woman in America. Like, I know that sounds hyperbolic, but it really was insane.
Yes. But also, too, you say America, but that made you a global
Yes.
figure.
So, luckily, I had a very good agent at the time, and he said, "Guess what? You can sell overseas really well because outside of America, they think you're a hero." And so I got to play everywhere from Singapore to Reykjavik, all because of that picture.
Really?
Yeah.
So you started. So well, can we go back to this?
Yeah.
This is wild to say, Kathy. Let's go back to the psych ward. You in this
Okay.
in the psych ward. You come out.
Yeah.
Then how long do we go before you're playing?
Oh, no,
shows?
I was playing shows right after the picture. Not right after, but like 3 months after the picture, I was playing Europe.
Oh my good. So you were going
Yeah.
abroad. Okay.
Yeah.
And selling out shows.
Selling out, and people were holding signs, and I became the lady from the head picture, and like I said, recognized globally because of that photo, and people wanted to stop me on the street and have me pose where I hold their head, and it was wild. To go viral in that way was really wild.
That's wild. And
It was the best thing that happened to my career, but it also makes my stomach sink to kind of think about going through it.
yes, yes, and to have lost the love from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the most painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, family. How did family show up for you during that time?
My mom was amazing. My dad had already passed. And my mom just hates Trump and hates everything he's about. And so when he came for her daughter, she really stepped up, and she was coming to my house almost daily. And that gave me something to do, to feel like I was looking after Maggie. And I did have some friends that came through, like Aubrey Plaza literally brought a casserole to my house. And that meant so much because, once again, she was walking in the door like, I don't care who sees me, she's my friend. And I did have a handful of people show up, and like those girls coming over that night.
Yes.
There was never more heat on me than that night. And they were like, "Oh yeah, dinner's still on." And so I had to learn how to make new friendships at my age, which was a challenge, but now I figured it out.
Yeah, I could see that you have there's a clique of girls
Yeah.
who love you
And I love them.
and loves you. And on that, I have a little surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not bad. This is good. I want you to take a look at this, and if you could read that out loud for us.
Okay, Kathy is on the envelope. Oh my God. Oh, all right. It's a picture of me with Terry Hatcher from Desperate Housewives, and she's all over social media. She's amazing. Dear Kathy, I love your commitment to being you, to reinvention, to inclusivity, and your work ethic. Your strength is inspiring, and I'm grateful to be included in your community of women and men who want to keep thriving and striving to make this world and our lives better every day. Love, Terry.
Yes.
I mean, and she was on an ABC show under a lot of scrutiny. And so I became friends with Hatcher after the picture.
I didn't realize that
After.
it was after
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah.
How did that happen after the
Because I learned two things. Number one, when I got sober, when I got sober, I joined AA. So I have a lot of friends from AA, and that's a community in itself. And I was like, okay, good. That's a really they have a system in place to kind of make friends. And that was great. And then I just started reaching out to people via old school Twitter when you could DM somebody and you knew that it was actually them. And so I I had been at Warner Brothers when Hatcher was doing the show Lois and Clark.
Los?
And I thought, oh my God, she survived Dean Cain, who now wants to be an ICE agent, by the way. He's like on Fox doing ICE training videos. That's how much he's lost his mind. So I thought, I want to reach out to Terry Hatcher because she's a survivor. She survived that guy, and she had to carry that show. And she was the first star on Desperate Housewives, so they built the show around her. And she's been through some shit.
Yes.
So I just started reaching out to women and gay folks that have just been through some shit. And that's where I started trying to rebuild and start new friendships.
Look at that. Now, you just mentioned when you got sober.
Yeah, because the pills, they still call it sober, even though I've never had a drink in my life
Okay.
to this day.
It was the pills.
Yeah.
So when you're okay. So this makes sense. So you became healthier.
Yeah.
Started reaching out, making friends,
Mhm.
but still that was a 6 to 7 year period.
Yes.
Would you say that so there was the attempt to cancel you?
Well, they
You
canceled
believe
me.
you were canceled.
Oh, yeah, they canceled me. Real good.
Okay.
They canceled the shit out of me. I mean, I was out of work for 7 years.
For 7 years.
Nobody would hire me.
Do you believe you're still canceled?
I think I might be uncanceled or starting to get uncanceled now. There's just a sea change. You know, I'm on this social media app called Threads. It's owned by Meta, which I hate, but I I I get a lot of people there saying we were wrong. We were wrong about the picture. Now we get it. Now we see how dangerous he is. Now we see that you had to be as extreme as you were. And I've had people say that to me, in particular, since he started the second administration.
How do you think history is going to look back at you in that photo?
I don't know. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can't. I have a feeling that when I croak, then people will be nicer. Like I watched it happen with Joan Rivers because when she was alive, a lot of celebrities were like, "She's mean. She called me out on Fashion Police." But then the day she passed away, which was very unexpected, if you remember, then everybody was like, "Oh my God, she's
an icon."
Yes, we lost one of our greats.
Yeah.
And so, if I get anything resembling that, I think it'll be after I croak.
Okay, but not before.
I would say that yeah, there's still a feeling of fear around me, I think, on the part of buyers. I call them buyers.
Okay, but more
Anybody that would hire me.
Hollywood, television.
Yeah.
But tour-wise, you can still tour.
Yes, thank God for the people. If it wasn't for John Q. Public and Jane Q. Public just putting down their money and buying tickets, I would still be canceled. So people uncanceled me.
So today, as you sit here in this beautiful yogi position,
I know,
I
right?
can't believe you've been sitting there so long in that perfect position.
I'm sweating so much, everybody. I'm sorry. Sorry, okay.
How are you doing that? How do you feel about your mental health today?
I feel good about my mental health. I have been diagnosed with complex PTSD, and I know that's something that we usually say for combat veterans, but I've had everybody tell me that I have it, from my shrink to my oncologist. Survived cancer. I had lung cancer. I have only half a lung on my left side.
You have
Get that? I had lung cancer, even though I never smoked. So just surviving a bunch of stuff.
And even complex PTSD, if we spend a second,
Yeah.
how does that distinguish itself?
Well, like right now, I'm having a panic attack, and so I'm sweating profusely. Even though in my heart I'm not nervous, and you couldn't be nicer, but something is telling me I'm in fight or flight mode right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Really? So you're having a panic attack now?
Yeah, I can't help it.
How?
But I'm still functional. Like, there was a time when then I couldn't be functional. So I'm sweating profusely, but I can still talk to you.
What can I ask?
Yeah.
And you can tell me to stop. Was it the conversation that we just had?
It's
that
seeing the
triggered?
lights. It's knowing that one person could not like something that I say today in this room, and then go on Reddit, and then start a whole group of people, and then maybe it gets blown out of proportion or whatever, and it could all happen again.
I see it. I see it. And I see how that connects with the complex
Because you
PTSD.
never know. Remember, I just did a little photo shoot at my house,
Yes.
and it blew up.
Yes.
So everywhere I go, I don't know if it's going to happen again.
So you're on edge.
I'm on edge, and yet I still keep doing it. Like I posted something where when I had shows last weekend, I had the audience chant, "Fuck ice, fuck ice, fuck ice." And so somebody caught video of it. And so I chose to put that video on all my social media, and I just waited. I thought, "Oh, here we go." But the response was positive.
Yes. And this is where I think I feel, this is just my little opinion, is that I feel that the day and age that we're at now,
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be more and more and more reception for you.
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears.
Yes. And for your voice. That's how I feel. And that's my interpretation when I talk to people.
Mm.
For example, I'll always seed the guests who are coming, right?
Yeah.
With my friends and family, right? Now, this is my community,
Yeah.
but I'll say, yeah, we got Kathy. It's like, oh my gosh, Kathy Griffin's coming in. This is like, so there's a lean in, there's an
Yeah.
excitement. And I would imagine that's going to continue.
If it does, then I really won. I mean, I do feel like I prevailed against the Department of Justice and the President of the United States, because they never charged me. I was interrogated under oath. I passed the interrogation. They kept trying to get evidence that I had the means and the intent to actually go kill Donald. So I went through that full investigation. And I have a letter from the federal government saying you are officially exonerated. So that is a framer, by the way.
Yes.
And that's so crazy to have that. But the fact that I got through all that, I think, is why people are receptive to me now, is I think they also saw me survive addiction and cancer and divorce. And I talk about all of it in my shows or when I do interviews.
Yes.
And so now I really enjoy connecting with my audience.
You said you survived divorce as well.
Yeah.
We have to talk about, I mean,
That was the
relationships. This is my
That hurt the worst.
divorce.
I didn't think I'd ever come back from that one.
More than
the scandal.
scandal.
Yeah.
So
I was down for the count.
I was looking at your relationships, Kathy. And I honestly, I'm blown away with your relationship resume.
Yeah.
You have a relationship resume.
Yes, I do.
I mean, even some of the dating, like we talked about Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
I didn't know you dated Conan O'Brien.
Well, Conan and I went on one date where Conan didn't know it was a date, but I thought it was a date. And then the check came, and then he was like, "Do you want to split the check?" Which was a pizza and Diet Coke, by the way. And I was like, "Oh, sure." And so I thought I had a date with Conan, but Conan was just going to write us, and we wrote a sketch together for
Oh,
the
did you?
Groundlings. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Steve Wozniak.
Steve Wozniak
That was a shocker.
proposed to me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, via email. Look, I love Steve. I'm friends with his wife, Janet. He's a great guy. Dating the guy that invented Apple, the founder of Apple, was Steve Jobs. Like I said, I have a thing for excellence.
Yes.
So Woz was a horrible boyfriend. He would just take me to Denny's and like.
No, he did.
Yes, he did. Billions of dollars. It takes me to Denny's, but Bob's big boy. But he does have a beautiful mind.
Yes.
And he is very generous about talking about the early days of Apple and what it was like to literally be in that garage, you know,
Billy.
doing the first home Mac.
Yes. So he proposed via email.
Yeah.
Do you respond no via email, or what do you
Yes.
do?
I said, send the jet. I go, if you want to date me, send the jet.
And you,
And he's like a robot. He's like, I do not use private jets. I fly commercial.
you didn't get the jet?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm the one who flies the jet.
That's right. You do.
Yeah.
You do. Dating younger as well.
Yeah. I haven't been asked out by a guy my age in like 30 years. Always guys much younger.
Much younger. How much younger?
Well, my last husband was 18 years younger than I am. And I would say if I'm 65 now, I had some dates recently and the oldest one was 47.
The oldest was 47.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you
More like 45-year-olds like me.
what about the younger? For the youngest?
Yeah, I did have an affair of the heart with a 23-year-old, which I wrote an essay about for my Substack. And it was something I wanted to put out there because I feel that because of ageism and sexism, there's this kind of myth out there that at a certain age you don't desire sex anymore, or you can't fall in love anymore, or you can't have great sex. And
Yes.
so I had a short but meaningful affair of the heart, is what I call it. And it was with a guy that was much younger, and he was such a great guy.
Such a
Yeah.
so we had Cindy Gallup. She has the company. She was a tech exec. Also, she has Make Love Not Porn.
Oh,
Is the
I don't know
site.
who she is. Sorry.
Yeah. So Cindy is in her 60s. And she.
Still getting laid?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the message.
And she exclusively dates younger men.
I don't mean to exclusively date younger men. I'm just telling you that's who asked me out.
Okay.
And I went on the dating apps, like a not celebrity. I went on 4 dating apps. One of them was called Elite Singles.
Elite singles.
Yes, and I was on Hinge and Bumble and Raya.
All right.
Yeah.
And you
As me. So you get to know everything about me, and then I got to make sure you're not catfishing me. I mean, the disparity was there, because I got to kind of take these guys at face value. And with me, you can like look up anything about me on the internet or anything.
Yes.
And so, but it was fun going on dates.
Yes, I could see it. So you're single now.
Yeah,
All right. But you're open,
I'm open.
but it's hard to meet people.
Yeah, look, I'm still a 65-year-old female comic. Most guys don't picture themselves in the back of a theater laughing at their wife while she is standing on stage with a microphone being vulgar. And that's what I do. Night after night, city after city. And I just think straight guys aren't really wired that way quite yet, but I have hope for the future.
Okay.
And actually, it makes me hopeful that younger guys ask me out because I think they didn't grow up with the same sexism as the guys my age.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. So you were open.
A little bit open.
Yeah, a little bit of it.
Yeah, a little bit open.
A little bit of, which means you're
Like, I want to get laid. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely.
right.
Don't these bitches that are walking around going, if I never have sex again, I won't miss it. Don't speak for me. I'll miss it. I miss it now.
Okay. Okay. Self-esteem has shown up
Yeah.
throughout this. And I would imagine that's impacted. You talked about the nose job
Yeah.
that you had earlier in your career.
Oh, I call my new tour New Face, New Tour.
Exactly.
Because I had my 3rd facelift. And let me tell you, I told this doctor to give me a good yank. I said, get back there, get a couple construction workers, and just pull the skin until you can't, and then snip it off. And so I talk about all of it.
Yes. All right. So this is the new tour.
Yeah.
New face, new tour.
Yeah.
Like literally.
Literally, I say the doctor's name. I say he did my friend Sia, the singer, and she had the best before and after pictures, and she gave him an award publicly, so she's mentioned him, and so I went to this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look great I will say, like, it's not the cameras. Like you look
He
great.
did a good job. I think. He yanked, and I got a neck pull.
Oh, did
I had
you?
the neck of a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
They just yanked it.
They just yank. And then what do they do? Do they
They
cut off
snip it off and sew you up.
And so really, really, is this the same person that your friend that Chris Jenner went to too? Or-
Oh, I can't afford Chris's guy. Chris's guy is $1 million a face. Mine was 218,000. Can you imagine?
Are you serious?
218, almost $250,000 on my facelift. I know. How crazy is that?
You spent $250,000.
Yes.
But Chris spent
$1 million.
$1 million.
Well, she got hers comped, I'm sure. I would think hers was free because,
Yes.
yeah, and she looks great. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, she looks good.
Yeah.
She looks good.
She looks like Kim's daughter. She's really, the clock has gone back for her.
the clock. When you were did you live next to her as well?
No, I live next to Kim and Kanye.
Okay, but they didn't. It wasn't like a.
Oh, Chris came over all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was, I mean, living next to them? What was?
It was a dream.
You must have, because I know you've talked quite a lot about.
I do. I talk
stand-up.
about them in my new special, which is on YouTube, and called Kathy Griffin: My Life on the PTSD List. And I talk about just what it was like to be their neighbor because it was as surreal as you would imagine. They had just insane amounts of security, which, by the way, she really had my back during the picture thing. That's why I won't turn on her because, and she might be a Republican now, I'm not sure. I don't even know if she knows what parties are. But anyway, when that picture scandal happened, she was there and she would come over and I would say, I got my security people and now you have yours and we should keep an eye on each other. And,
Yes.
she was held up in Paris at gunpoint and that was real. And he
Yes.
came over and we talked that out because I've been through my experiences and I've been held up at gunpoint twice. And so we talked that out and stuff. And Kanye's not a big talker, but they had just 2 kids at the time. And it was just great having them as neighbors.
Was he at that? So he had not run or announced running.
Oh, no, he was
Pre-
doing the ranches in Montana or whatever.
Okay. Wyoming.
Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing that.
Okay. Wow.
And he was still doing music, and he had not expressed his love for Donald Trump at that time,
Okay. Yeah.
which
Especially
would have been awkward for me, the next door neighbor
that would have
with the head lady.
that would have been wild. That would
I
have been
know.
wild. Okay. So now, if you look at self-esteem
Yeah.
today, where does it stand for you?
It's like a graph that goes up or down. It's no middle. Either I feel really good about myself or I feel really shitty about myself. And I don't know why.
All right.
So I have a good days where I'm like, okay, I'm winning in life. And then I have other days where I'm like, oh, I'm the biggest loser.
Okay. The complex PTSD, what I do know about it is that PTSD is normally one incident that drives it.
Mhm.
Complex PTSD is multiple
Yeah.
incidents over a period of time.
Yeah.
And you could see how there's many traumatic
The
events.
Trump picture, cancer, addiction, divorce, not working,
Yes.
to be hated at such a high level by so many people for so long.
But
That was it. That's when it kind of kicked into high gear.
but the flip or the other side
Yeah.
of the coin is that you have so many people who love you.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And speaking of this,
Yes.
I want to show you this.
Terry Hatcher loves me.
You got Terry.
I mean, I got Hatcher.
got me.
Man.
You got
She's
me.
The best.
You got
I got
me.
you. I'm coming over.
I want to show you some of these things.
Okay.
All right. So actually, tell me who this is,
Okay.
and we're gonna play the "How Much They Love You" game.
Okay.
All right. So who is that?
Oh, that's me and Kris Jenner.
Yes.
I love her. I don't love that she's besties with the Bezoses. I gotta say that, but she's a good, kind person.
Yeah. She seemed to really have your back.
Yeah.
All right.
When she didn't have to, by the way.
Yes.
She didn't have to.
Yes. So now, here's another one.
Okay.
Who's in this?
Oh, okay. These are my good friends. Sia, the singer from Chandelier and Titanium, and Jennifer Lewis from Blackish and was an original harlot. And there we are, just taking a silly picture. And I see these ladies all the time. Jennifer and I just texted. Sia and I see each other once a week.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, the love is
The
real.
love is real.
The love is real. This is actually could be my favorite photo.
Okay.
I want to. Who's in that photo?
Tatum. Look, Tatum's a whore. All right. He's a dirty whore. He made his empire because he's hot and everybody wants to fuck him. And I've known Tatum since he was a male dancer or whatever. And so I just know him through like the charity circuit or something. But I love him because he takes a joke on the chin.
Yes.
So I said, let's make it like we're cuddling.
It looked like you were cuddling. So
Yeah,
you weren't
he
really
wants
cuddling.
me so bad.
I
Give me a
think he does.
break.
I think he does.
He's going to call.
And this
He'll do.
this is a moment that we didn't talk about, and I had seen you in this, but didn't know this was you.
Oh, tell
Ready?
me. Oh yeah, the real Slim Shady. So here I am manhandling Eminem. And so I was on Suddenly Susan at the time, and I was touring like a beast. And at first I said no because it was only 10K. And then the guy who did my hair said, no, this guy Eminem is really big. You should do it. And I was like, no, I've heard of him, but the song hadn't come out yet. And it was so old school that they had my assistant meet someone at a corner and give a cassette of just the part that I was to lip sync, which is, may I have your attention, please?
Yes.
May I have your attention, please? We're going to have a problem here. And so I got to play the nurse, and I went up to the director, who was Dr. Dre, and I said, what made you think of me for this role? And he goes, Snoop said you're funny. What about that? And then this one comes up to me and he goes, hi, I'm Marshall. Marshall.
The stories.
Stories keep coming.
You know what? I always say a well-lived life.
That's what I'm saying.
A well-lived
No
life.
complaints.
No complaints. It's
Yeah.
like the stories
The stories alone.
make you rich. And then on top of it, you're rich. This is like you won. You won.
Fun.
So now,
Yes.
final question. This is the question everyone gets.
Okay.
Okay. You've had some incredible conversations in your life. When you think about the most memorable, who was it with and what did you learn?
Okay, you're not even going to believe this. When I had a dinner party for my late friend, Sidney Poitier, he comes to the house for dinner. And to get him talking about his iconic work was a difficult thing to do. He just wasn't, that's not how he talked. But if I could get him deep and if I could make him laugh long enough, I could get a good story out of him. And he told me about going to see Nelson Mandela in prison and what that experience was like. And how he was going to play Mandela, and Mandela was making Sydney known, like, okay, I'm going to talk to you and give you a little help for your research, but I need you to see this prison environment that I'm in, and I need you to understand what it means. And to be able to have had a conversation like that with the great Sidney Poitier is a conversation that will stay with me forever.
Absolutely.
Insane,
Insane.
right?
But there you go. Like, of course he's your friend.
He
course
loved
Sidney
me.
Poitier is
He would go, young lady, you make me laugh. And I would go, Sydney, put away your Medal of Freedom. I get it. You won the Medal of Freedom, okay? Do you have to bring it to every party? And he would laugh.
Yeah, of course, of course. You know, Kathy, I will say this is I was aware of you, but not this aware
Yeah.
of you. And I would say that I believe that you are one of the most important voices of our time.
Oh, my goodness.
No, truly, truly. And I believe that you're going to find that as we continue on through the years, more and more people will fully not just recognize it, but make you feel that.
I hope so. I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Well, I will see you in London then.
Okay, great. I can't wait.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was super. All right. So it was just mentioned out here, but I do have to repeat this is many people say don't meet people who you admire or you look up to or who are idols. And she beat my expectation. Kathy is representation of how complex we are as humans. Here's someone with uber confidence, extreme trust in what she sees and who she is, but yet low value of her worth, which is poor self-esteem. And this is reminiscent of so many of the public figures that we talk to, how the industry beats you down slowly. She's 65 years old, moved to LA at 18, over 40 years of being in the industry. And that's over 40 years of being told you're not good enough. You don't look good enough. You're too big. Change this. For over 40 years of this rejection, it takes a toll. When she said that she was having a panic attack in the interview, right? Or that showed me how much weight rides on her and her mental health and how much of a warrior she is. You know, I would say a well-lived life is not necessarily about how much money you have. I mean, I think we often hear that, but when you can sit back and reflect upon your life and all of these experiences, how you touched people's lives, how your presence created some change, that's a well-lived life. What's up, good people? If you've made it this far, let me tell you, I appreciate you. You are truly part of this community and you like long episodes. But quite honestly, this doesn't go unnoticed. Now, if you haven't already, I want you to hit subscribe. It's right here. And if you've really enjoyed this conversation, I know you're gonna love this one.